Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mythic Shadow, and today is a doozy, honestly, for what I'm about to talk about here in this video. Call of Duty, as well as the community that surrounds this game, as well as Activision as a whole, is at a tipping point that MW3 will decide whether or not it will make or break the future of the franchise for the foreseeable future. For far too long, this company has ignored their fan base and what the core fans have wanted in the game, and would rather cater to popular streamers such as Nick Merckx, Tim the Tapman, Dr. Disrespect, Nadia, and so on and so forth. Of course, this is no disrespect to all those creators. I genuinely love watching Nick and Tim playing games, but that doesn't excuse the fact that Activision would rather listen to their feedback rather than with the fans who have no following or barely any following like these streamers do instead. Just the other night, I watched the Codfather as well as Unmarksman and FaZe Jev, and they all put it the fact that the Codfather and Jev is fed up with Activision's tomfoolery, and Marksman is at a point that he doesn't get as much views anymore with Call of Duty, and that every time he genuinely tries to give the developers feedback and what he thinks that would flow better in the game, even as going back from the beta of MW 2022, they haven't listened to him since. At the end of the day, this all comes down to money and what Activision wants rather than the consumer. It is absolutely ridiculous that they would cater to the higher demographic of streamers who don't really make up the majority of the player base and will leave the average consumer in the dust. It sucks to say this honestly, because I've been a huge Call of Duty fan ever since playing Call of Duty 5's Hour on the original Xbox. Hell, I'll never forget when I got my guns Diamond in BO2. So to see such a good franchise go down the drain like this is just stupid. And it is stupidity that Activision keeps bringing onto themselves and wonder why people don't want to continue playing their new games. Which brings me to my second point of this video. The fact that they are currently giving out cease and desist orders to both SM2 and XLabs, effectively ending the only safe way to play the older Call of Duty games on PC and leaving only Plutonium online at the time of making this video. Now, for those who haven't been catching up within the loop or genuinely have no idea what's going on and what a cease and desist means, a cease and desist basically means that you essentially need to stop whatever you are doing instantly before more legal action is pursued. This is what is given to the creators of SM2, which is a modded server that had the best of everything from the original Call of Duty games, and XLabs, which is an MW2 server. If I get that wrong, feel free to correct me. But anyway, both of those servers were only passion projects designed by former employees at Activision, as well as people who genuinely in love with the franchise and wanted to see rise back at the former gaming juggernaut that was years ago. Like hell, do you remember how Zombies back in the day was just pretty much everywhere? You had popular streamers and YouTubers such as the Vanos Crew, Ali A, Raffle Waffles, Noah J456, Mr. T Lexify, and JC Backfire, just destroying and tearing up the community with awesome videos and awesome maps such as Origins, Kino der Toten, Mob of the Dead, Horizon Drak, and Groa Covey, just name a few, to having the most abysmal launch and laughable state of Zombies, which was in Call of Duty Vanguard with Durand Fog, which is considered to be the worst map ever made and didn't even have a pause menu for solo players properly, resulting in being kicked from your own game, being downed in the glorious Milo pick here. And yet, Activision proves time and time again that they do not care about their fan base who want to play the old games. And why? It's genuinely due to fear. Modern Warfare 2022 is an absolute train wreck with things like the movement being stiff and choppy, connection issues when you have perfect internet, hackers running rampant even with Ricochet being implemented in Warzone 2, pay to win items in DMZ like having a certain operator spawn in with a free UAV or bigger backpack, and the biggest issue, the skill-based matchmaking that pairs you up with the people who are playing like their lives depend on it after you had a decent game the night prior. So of course, people are going to naturally flock to the older games such as Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, MW2, MW3, and so on. However, there's two major problems with this on the PC ports of these games. The first reason is that even after all these years, they are still charging full price for or near full price for these games that came out several years ago. If you go on Steam and type in Black Ops 3, it is still listed at $79.99, while Black Ops 2 is currently sitting at $64.99. Keep in mind that these games came out in 2012 as well as 2015. And this doesn't even account the Season Pass or DLC packs on top of that they are still charging for full price. If you take a look at Rainbow Six Siege, for example, a game that has came out from 2015 is already marked down to $29.99, with it regularly going on sale, has been kept at a reasonable price for years, with it now constantly making updates and listening to player feedback from both popular streamers such as Pengu, Coconut Bra, and Matimio, as well as the fans. Just recently, with the release of Operation Dread Factor, there was a rework of Frost being made up so that players who are injured by our mats can free themselves and the community was in an uproar and made their voices heard, and Ubisoft listened and pushed the rework back because they listened to their fans and their players. The second point I want to bring up is the fact that you were not safe at all playing Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, MW2, or MW3 online on PC. The reason why is because these games are not properly managed on PC and run an old code that is ridiculously easier for a hacker to swoop in, take your IP address, infiltrate your PC, and all around ruin your life within the span of a single hour. This is the reason why such as clients as SM2, Xlabs, and Plutonium were there to make sure that players who want to have a good time on these older games without ruining the risk of being doxxed. But like I said in the beginning, Activision has shown their true colors by taking out the only safe way to play their old games that they are still charging full price for. So now, if you bought MW2 or any of these games on Steam, you run the high risk of being doxxed by a hacker. Of course, there are people defending Activision by stating that they're legally allowed to do so since they're using their clients, and to an extent, you are right. However, they do have the moral high ground here by stopping these creators. I'm sorry, they don't, sorry. However, they have absolutely no moral high ground here by axing these free clients and by basically giving the middle finger to a large portion of people who just want to experience the old zombies and the multiplayer, even the campaign, without getting their lives ruined in the process. On top of that, they clearly have no intention of going back and fixing these games since they're too busy with Warzone 2, as well as the upcoming Call of Duty game, which is being developed by Sledgehammer Games. The same people who have gave us Vanguard, which literally no one liked and was an imbalanced mess, and are going to continue to let this be charged for full price since they know they can have a large fan base, especially in the Black Ops 3 custom zombies community, who want to play these games and won't spend a single dime on the new ones. And the ironic thing, none of this will even matter when the new game comes out this year. They will leave everything behind and start anew. All the money spent on skins and everything with previous games, they're pretty much useless now, except for Warzone, which not a lot of people like to play. Some people just like to play, casual team deathmatch and stuff like that. So of course, they're going to pull every trick in the book in order to save whatever players they have left. Keep in mind, these are the same people who haven't got us a single custom creative member. They have gave us a bare bones prestige system that is virtually bad in every way possible compared to the original back in the day, and went back on the word of having a 2-year cycle to having a 1-year cycle like how it has always been, and said that Modern Warfare 2023 is not only a continuation of 2022, but is treated like a premium edition of this year's game and charging full price again. Even recently, at the time of making this video, it is brought to my attention, as well as the Cod Father, that it's not just PC players that are being affected by terrible server security that hackers are getting into with even this year's COD, but it's also console players who are being hit with booted offline, IP addresses stolen, accounts being locked out of, accounts being swapped, etc. Seriously, link in the bio if you want to watch his video going more in depth on what he's been saying, since he's been a lot more vocal about his stance on the situation. But essentially, if you go onto Twitter and find Demo's post, he confirms that anybody who plays MW2 or Warzone 2, console or PC, is now at the risk of getting hacked, and the replies are just insane. According to the Codfather, his video, he had a bunch of people, and he showed 2 replies that stuck out to me. One guy had his account hacked, and the person who gave him everything in the game, while the other guy got hacked, lost his account, switched his email address, and when he tried to get his stuff back with little proof proving that it is his account, they denied his claim. Now, some people with a little niche in the community will say, oh, it's totally fine, the guy got everything, I don't see why he's complaining, he got all the guns, he got all the skins, everything like that, right? The problem is, some people genuinely just want to confirm, and they genuinely just want to grind for that type of stuff. It's like asking yourself, if you just bought a video game, and the thing is that you just modded it, and just bought a video game at full price, and it's someone modded, and it's already completed, you wouldn't have any value, you don't want to put the time into that. That's essentially what the first guy is saying here. So essentially, at this point, it should be illegal for a company like Activision to continue operating, selling this game in such a broken state, both in security-wise and gameplay-wise. Literally everyone should be at the top of a mountain, yelling their lungs out at this damn game. This includes all streamers as well, because all it takes is a tiny little push from somebody that'll give Activision the need to actually fix the damn game. Like, this genuinely isn't funny anymore, and it's at a point where people's lives are at stake here, and Activision has still not even addressed the situation here. Not only they have not addressed the security issues of being doxxed and anything like that, they have not even addressed the situation why SM2 or Xlabs or anything like that has been taken offline. Seriously, if you go to the YouTube and type in Call of Duty and go to their channel, you'll see that their most recent post at the time of making this video was them releasing and confirming Tim and Nick's operator in the game, with their Twitter, both Activision, Infinity Ward, as well as Call of Duty, not even addressing the state of the game either and acting like it's totally completely fine. They have not once addressed, the reason why SM2 was taken offline. They have not, addressed the reason why that Xlabs was taken out. Nothing. Some people speculate that the reason why SM2 was taken off was because they finally switched to the Modern Warfare Remastered engine, which kind of caught the Activision's radar. However, at the end of the day, it is still a safe way to play these games rather than being hacked and doxxed and have your life completely ruined. So, again, Activision doesn't care about any of this at all. Sure, they might fix this issue at some point, but the problem with that though is that what good will it even do? The damage has already been done. At the time of making this video, we are currently in May, and it's about to be June in a couple of days. And seriously, think about it. Every new Call of Duty is either released in November or October of every year. That's literally 4 to 5 months away from the new game being released, and by that point, everybody will be on the next game and will leave Modern Warfare 2022 in the dust. So, what can you do, the consumer, to mitigate this? The answer is simple, just stop buying them. Don't let this greedy company take away your hard-earned money and do whatever they please with it, while also screwing you over in the process, and won't give you a full and great experience like how they used to back in the day with great titles such as Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and everything and so forth. Honestly, I am not buying the next Call of Duty game. No one is having fun of this game anymore. Big YouTubers such as Marksman are thinking about quitting or having no idea what else to do now. And the security risks with Call of Duty are just too great. Seriously, at the time of making this video, I just deleted Warzone and Call of Duty off my PC. And then again, I haven't touched Modern Warfare 2 in the past couple of months, and I have not looked back on it. And at this point, with my own advice, I think you should follow the Codfather and delete it off there as well. It's not worth it risking your life, no matter what age you are, and risking your social life and having somebody take your identity and do whatever the hell they want with it. It's not worth it, especially for a broken and messy game like this. And we're honestly, if you do buy this game, that's completely power to you. If you want to buy it, go right ahead. But also, just know that you're prolonging the issue and not giving any sort of solution to where this company gets your hard-earned money, and again, do whatever they want in the process. Well, at least they have the right to play this game without having the risk of having our lives torn to shreds, and that they don't take any sort of accountability for leaving their games in a bad and such a horrific state. Seriously, I guarantee you right now that by the end of this making the video, and by the time that the new Call of Duty is going to come out, they are never going to address the reason why they took it off SM2. They're never going to address the reason why X Labs is gone. They're never going to do any of that type of stuff. I guarantee it. And as long as the big streamers, again, such as Tim the Tatman, Nick Merckx, Nadia, and all these guys will continue playing this game, Activision is just going to get rich and stuff like that, right? They don't really care about the smaller consumer fan base, the people who just got off of work, the people who just got off of school and wanted to play these games. And it's a game for all ages here. So, at this point, Activision just needs to stop. They are just doing this, and it's absolutely horrific. They need to fix these damn games. Otherwise, or you don't charge them for full price for games that came out years ago. Otherwise, you were just making the problem worse. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me, and I hope you enjoyed. This is just my 2 cents on what Activision has been doing, and I hope and I pray to God that they get off their asses and do this properly and fix these games that people would genuinely want to play, because charging full price for games that are not only security risks for your life, as well as the fact that they're not even fixed properly, is absolutely mind-boggling. Anyway, if you enjoy this, drop a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot. I have new videos coming out soon about Mortal Kombat as well as Rainbow Six Siege, and I guarantee you do not want to miss these stuff. Anyway, this is Mythic Shadow, signing off.